Lie to me. I'm sorry. Don't lie. Lie to me. Kems, Kem. Very outstanding singer, boy. Listen, if you haven't checked out Kem and you don't know Kem's work, oh my gosh. And his backstory of he used to be an alcoholic and got past all that to become an outstanding performer. Good morning, everyone. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, author, and educator. And I pray everything is well with you this morning. So I didn't go walk this morning. I'm going to go practice later on. But I meditated this morning. Dropped off KL. And I was going to go walk, and I pulled over and I started meditating, just started thinking. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. That's part of it too. But before I get into that, let me first do this. It is Thursday, right? Okay. So let's like this, share this, and let's tag 4 people. Let's tag 4 people. 4 people that need to hear today's message of be patient. Changes take time. Be patient. Changes take time. Be patient. Changes take time. Like this, share this, tag 4 people. Now, also, let me hey, shout out Jose and happy belated happy birthday, my brother. Thank you, Jose, for always being a big supporter, man. I love you, bro. All right, let me do this. To all my Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, the Bronx, Manhattan, please check out Chef Danielle. She is the owner and operator of Annie Mae's Soul Food Kitchen, 497 Albany Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. She is good at what she does. I want you to stop by her page, Danielle Chef Moore on Facebook, BK Chef Danielle on Instagram, also on Instagram at Ethel_Annie Mae's Soul Food Kitchen on Instagram. And I think I might have got that wrong. I'm going to double check because I want to make sure I'm giving out the right information. Either way, let me tell you something. Chef Danielle is the business. She's about her business. And the beautiful thing is she's unapologetic in terms of her love for what she does and her love for her people. And we have to protect those who are commodities, those who care about us and then service us at the same time. We have to protect them, man, because the way the world is going now, we don't see enough representation of ourselves as people of color, but also to my folks who are not of color. If you want to bridge the gap and learn more about us, come and support us and let's sit down and talk. Most people of color, are willing to sit down with people who don't look like them to try to get to a better place. Now, I said most, not all, because there's some brothers and sisters ain't trying to deal with nobody who don't look like them. And I get it. I understand. But what I'm saying is this is something that we have to do to be able to bridge this gap. I am one of those people that believe in having conversations and believe in having allies because I don't think we can do this alone. And my faith dictates that for me. But I do understand those folks of color who don't want to have anything to do and they're separatists. I get it. And I understand it. I may not rock with it, but I understand it. So when you check out Chef Danielle, make sure you tell her that KL sent you, as well as ask her about the bench. And the reason why I keep bringing up the bench, our ancestors send word back to give us knowledge. Our elders have that knowledge because they have a life lived and they have a life full of lived experiences, good and bad. And when they're comfortable enough to impart that on somebody younger, if you listen, your life will change. And they've blessed the bench that Danielle has at her restaurant. And I want you just to listen to her passion about what she has experienced just from having that bench at her location. So make sure you ask her about the bench. Tell her that KL sent you. And again, let's build up those who are trying to build the community. Let's start putting action behind our words. All right. Okay. So with that said, let's get into today's message. Be patient. Change takes time. And one of the things that I was sitting here meditating on, I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 in December, so got 5 more months. And I was going to go walk, and then I just stopped, and I was just thinking, and again, I just felt when we come to crossroads in our life. Now, hear me, because I don't know who this is for, so it must be for you that's watching. When we come to crossroads in our life and we decide to pivot, sometimes by force, because like COVID, or say a job loss, or by choice, where we just decide I'm not happy and I want to do something different, be somebody different. I want to change my body, change my life, change my financial situation, change where I live, whatever it is. You have to be patient because the change takes time. When I made the decision to leave New York to come to Delaware, it was really something that had started 5 years earlier. Tiff and I had talked about it, discussed it. And then when we had finally made a decision that, you know what, I think we're going to go ahead and go, we had to be patient and to put things into motion. And then understand that those changes that were necessary was going to take time. And even with all of that, we still made some mistakes when we first came down here. And that's something that I want to share with you. When you make the decision to be something or someone different, you have to be patient because it's like you're planting seeds. You cannot plant the seeds and then dig the dirt back up to see if the seeds are growing. Doesn't work that way. You have to plant the seeds, do the things necessary, make sure the soil is rich, make sure that if you're going to use fertilizer, you use it. Make sure that if you're watering and you're tilling the soil, you're doing all the things right, and then you got to be patient that the metamorphosis of what you're expecting happens. Often, and I seen there's a meme going around. I see there's a meme going around, and it's Jay-Z in one, and I forget who's in the other one, and it says, Jay-Z says, you want the accomplishment, but you don't want the work. And it's profound. But I think sometimes we overlook the obvious. We react on what we see. We really do. We react on what we see. We see LeBron James, and Jay-Z mentioned Kobe. We see the late great Kobe Bryant. We see the outcomes of what other people have done. What we don't see is the work and the sacrifices that it took to get there. And because of that, we get impatient when we don't see the same results as what we see. And I understand that wholeheartedly because I would see kids in the classroom. They're trying to do their work, but they're watching other kids in the classroom. And if another child got finished, they literally would apply pressure to themselves, so much so that some of them would just quit. And when I would say, why did you stop? I can't finish this. And I would say, what do you mean? And they say, I don't know how to do it. And I was like, but you were okay. You were doing it. Just go back to it. But what I notice is that as they're talking to me, they're looking around because they're comparing themselves to someone else. And in that comparison, because what they saw didn't line up with what they had, they quit. So what does any of that have to do with what I'm talking about? Well, I'm going to explain it. When you make the decision to pivot, you have to be patient. You have to bake that into the cake. Say to yourself, now you can set timelines. There's nothing wrong with that. In 6 months, I will be. In 10 months, a year, I will be. 2 years, I will be. That's fine. You're supposed to. But then you have to be patient and do the work. I am going through that right now. I left teaching 5 years ago. Do I miss it? Sometimes. But I became an entrepreneur September 17th, 2019. Yeah, I know the date. But I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do it as an entrepreneur. I knew what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure exactly how. So in May of 2020, I got a business coach. So May of 2020, coming down here to Delaware in July of 2016, it's almost 4 years, I now was presented with new information. And I went through the course that my coach offered. I paid the fee. And I paid the fee after I thought about, was this a good move for me? And because I watched the coach and understood what the coach was doing, I said, you know what? Yeah, I think this is. I paid the fee. And now I am in the process of applying what the coach has taught me. The coach has led me to other resources, which I pay for. And I'm applying that. So the biggest thing that I have to remind myself is to be patient and wait for the things that I have planted to take root and to grow. So there are times that I look at other people's messages and I look at what other people are doing. And I find myself almost starting to drift off to, well, what? And I start to ask why, and I catch myself, stop. That's not for you. That's there. That's whatever's for them is for them, and whatever's for me is for me. And the reason why I do that is because I don't know what they did behind the scenes to get there. And I've learned this over the years with social media. Nothing is what it appears, good or bad. So, and again, if you understand what I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat room. If you understand, if you're with me right now, if you get it. Or if you're struggling with being patient, put a 1 in the chat room. And the reason why is because I have a plan, I have a goal, I'm thinking long term, and I'll give you a little insight to that. I decided to become a counselor, but I wasn't sure what type of counselor. I was counseling everybody pretty much. And then again, after finding a business coach, shout out to Glenn P. Brooks Jr., by the way. In finding a business coach, I had to refine what I was as a counselor. I had to create a way to find my target audience. And so I found that. And it is women between the ages of 35 and 70. Now, does that mean I don't work with other people? No, I work with anybody. But I target, meaning who I look and who my target, who the if I had the choice, the person that I'm looking for, I know what she looks like. And I work with couples, and I know what they look like. Does that mean I don't work with all couples? If you come and you want to talk to me, yeah, sure, no problem. But my target, meaning what I'm looking at, what I'm aiming at, what I'm after. But I don't close the door to other opportunities. But in all that said, is I'm being patient. And I'm trusting that I made the decisions that I know are going to benefit me. And then I have to plant the seeds. And I have to make sure that I've given them everything that they're supposed to do. And then I got to wait for them to grow. And then I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. You can't eat the apples off the apple tree if the apple tree don't grow. Hold that for a second. You cannot eat the apples off an apple tree that has not grown. And if you know you planted an apple tree, you have to wait. You have to be patient. You have to give it its due. And then here's another part. Now, this is the part that everybody seems to forget. Well, may not resonate with you if you're not a person of faith. We want to rush God. Now, I don't care if you're a non-believer or not, I'll make it make sense for you as well. We want to rush God. We want to see the apple tree show up like Jack and the Beanstalk. We want to plant the seeds tonight, go to bed, wake up, and oh my God, it stretches to the sky. That's why that's a fable. And for you guys that are not believers in the Lord, I got you. You want to see the process happen overnight. So you press the process, rush it. You try to push metamorphosis, scientific change into position. You can't. So for those that are believers, you cannot push God. And for those that are not, you cannot push science. So either one, you cannot push. The seed is going to open at the time it is designed to open. It is going to grow at the rate that it grows, and it is going to do what it was designed to do. Now, here is the caveat to all of it. Please pay attention. But if you did not do what you were supposed to do, meaning, did you plant the seed in the right soil? Or did you plant it in sand? Did you water and care and nurture the seed like you were supposed to give it its opportunity to grow? Is the area around it sufficient for life for it to grow? And all of these things go into what it is that you are expecting, which is the apple tree to get there so you can get the apples. Now, here's another caveat. Let's say you do all of that and the apple tree grows. Yes, you are successful. You have done it. I guarantee you there will be rotten apples or apples that are deformed or apples that just did not grow. And if you equate that to aspects of your life, which means there are going to be areas in your life that no matter how much pruning, how much plotting and planning and soil tilling and everything else, you will have some aspects that just don't pan out. And you got to be okay with that because you know what? You have an apple tree. And if you did it right, halfway decent, you should have enough apples to sustain you. So even when the one that is rotten or the one that is deformed or the one that just didn't grow, it doesn't break you. That's why you have to be patient. That's why you have to allow it to happen. Yesterday, I had a wonderful lunch and learn. Again, shout out to Glenn P. Brooks. And shout out to Mike the Motivator on IG. He was the guest speaker. But he hit on something that resonated with me. When I listened to this young man speak in an area that I am very well versed in education, a part of me started to go, oh, yo, that's a lane. I could do that. Yo, this brother's killing it. Stop, Keith. And I had to catch myself because I could hear everything that he was saying and it resonated with me. And I automatically started thinking of messages that I could bring to other educators in that circle. And then I thought about it. That's not my lane anymore. That's not even what I'm designed for or what I'm trying to do. So even though everything that brother said was tremendous and it sparked an emotion in me, I had to sit my butt still because I got to keep an eye on my apple tree. Because I can't run over and start trying to take the apples off of his tree or run over now and try to replant a new tree in the lane that he's already got trees in. That's stupid because that's not my focus. And that's another thing that we can get caught up in on social media. We hear something great and we depart from the very thing that we're supposed to be patient with over here. And I don't know who needed to hear this morning. And I know it's hard. I know it's very hard. I'm 53 years old, and sometimes I hear folks 25, 35, 45, and I'm like, oh, I should have been doing that. And I slap myself, not physically. Shut up. You wanted panties. And you was out there chasing panties and you was doing your thing. So, okay, you got what you wanted. You was good at that. You was teaching. You was good at that. You made a lot of money. You didn't focus on that. So what you upset about? And then I get right back to it. Because the realer you are to yourself, the more patient you will become. I don't know who needs to hear this morning. Now, let me get to this. If anything that I just said resonates with you, let's get on a call. Let's talk. And I'm going to tell you why. You heard me say at the beginning when I introduced myself, I'm a crisis specialist. Crisis comes in many forms. And many of you are hurting and don't know why you're hurting. Many of you are frustrated and don't know why you're frustrated. Many of you are sad and don't know why you're sad. But yet you won't reach out and talk to anyone. I get on every morning, Monday through Friday, 9:30. I try to stay on for a half an hour, and I try to keep it to that because I will run my mouth for a long time. You guys know me. And the reason why I do it is because somebody needed to hear this message. I believe that. This is my ministry. I also don't stress who I reach. I stress is what's coming out my mouth solid. And I'm going to tell you why I don't worry. I found out some time ago, a few years back, that someone I saw post something on social media didn't resonate with me well. It kind of tugged at my spirit because I knew the person physically. I knew the person in real life. And something that she posted didn't sit well with me. So I put the wow face on her post, but I reached out to her internally. In the DM and I said, hey, what's going on? I didn't like that post too much. You good? And I got the prototypical strong black woman, I'm okay. No, you're not. And I said, can we talk? Can we get on a call? I didn't say, can we get on a call then? I learned that now. But I said, can we talk? I noticed that there was a long pause, and then she was like, okay. And I was like, cool. And then we got to talking. I could hear the pain in her voice. I could hear the pain in everything that she was explaining. But also what I could hear was that she had allowed the storm cloud around her to blind her to what was still out here. And that cloud was getting thicker. And that cloud was choking the life out of her. And so I needed to push through that cloud to bring a ray of sunshine to explain to her that even though you feel horrible right now, it will not be this way forever. And I asked her, you sure you good now? She's like, I'm better. I'm like, okay. I said, if you need me, you reach out to me. And I'm going to leave, and I'm not going to put her name out there. Well, here's the thing that got me. A couple years later, I always go by my website to clean out the messages because you get these bots and you get these random messages. And I see a message from somebody who's saying, you didn't know this, but I was going to kill myself. And you prevented that by reaching out to me. What? I had forgot about the conversation. And I had no idea that's where we were, but I knew something didn't seem right. And when I got that message, I reached back out to her. I just told her, thank you. No extra, no nothing. And let me tell you this for anybody watching, so please hear me out. The reason why I show up and I don't worry about the numbers is because I know for a fact I've saved at least one life. I'm good. But here, I'll let you in on something. I've actually saved a few lives in my lifetime. I don't make that part of my professional pitch. I don't wave a banner and stuff like that. But I have saved a few lives in my lifetime. I mean, literally. So what I realized was that I can't mute myself and not be here because God has given me gifts that allow me to help other people. And for a while, I had just kind of got quiet and was going along with the crowd. And again, finding my business coach, Glenn P. Brooks Jr., refinding my voice, reshaping everything that I do, leaving education, coming back to my books, coming back to speaking, coming back to counseling as a new format for my life. I've now started to see some of the fruits, but I have a long way to go. And then in doing that, God has brought me others to help me. Shout out to Tarkessa Colvin, who is my literary coach. She is now showing me how to repurpose my books because there's still other ways that I can learn how to use what I've already have to help others understand what they can be and probably, and I pray God allows me to save other lives. And here's another thing. God will send you people who will travel along with you the whole way. Remember, reason, season, or a lifetime. God will send you somebody just for a reason. Hey, don't go that way. You may never see him again. He will send you somebody through a season of struggle, season of triumph, whatever it is. Send you somebody for that. But then he will send you individuals, not that many, who will travel with you for a lifetime or a good portion of your life, of your lifetime. Shout out to my man Brian Groves over in Italy. He came into my life in 2015 because he was listening to the radio show that Tiff and I had. And he simply said, Keith, I saw something you posted. And I think you help a lot of people, but I would like to help you. Now, of course, I'm always leery when people just reach out. That's me. Even though I help people, I'm a little leery like that. That's the New Yorker in me. But from that reaching out, from that attempt, we have grown into being good friends. And now I pour back into him and help him with what he's doing as a coach. But he was helping me just stay steady. And at times being compassionate enough to nudge me in a direction and say, Keith, that's not really what you said you wanted to do. I needed that accountability. Well, now when I look at where I am now and where I'm going, I am patient enough to wait on my apple tree. Even though I have a small apple tree that I can pull fruit from, I'm waiting on the bigger one. I'm waiting for this one to grow. So sometimes I leave the fruit there and don't touch it. And I don't know who needed to hear this. I don't know who's sitting there right now and they're in a season of discontent. I want to say this to you. Be patient. Be diligent. And what I mean by that is you need to be doing something because you got to put the seed in the ground first. So if you don't have any seed, that's where we start. And whatever that seed is for you, whatever that starting point is for you, okay, get it in the ground. And then you got to do all the things that's necessary. And then you have to be patient. Change takes time. And if you need somebody to talk to, let's get on a call today. Don't wait. Don't worry about how much it's going to cost. I'm affordable. I'll tell you like that. And the reason why is because I can tell you that what I charge compared to what you'll lose by doing nothing doesn't even add up. Hold on a second. I got a call. All right, I'll call her back in a minute. So I don't know who needed this message today. If this resonated with you, put "it did" in the chat. Yes, it did. Put it in the chat. Yes, it did. And if you believe that you're ready to go out here and put your seeds in the ground, reach out. And if you ain't got no seeds, reach out. Let's try to figure out what it is that you want to plant, what it is that you want to do. Reach out. Let's talk. And if your apple tree has grown, but you just so want to pick them apples that are not quite ripe, reach out. And we can talk about what you can do in the meantime while you're waiting patiently for your apples to come to full term, so you can enjoy them for exactly what they are. Fresh, ripe apples. And then think of all the things that you can do when the apples are ready. Look at all the things that you can do with apples. Just think about that. Because you were patient. Because you allowed God to do what he does. And now you can pick the fruits of your labor. God said we can judge a tree by its fruits. So imagine what happens if you're patient enough to let what you put in the ground grow into what it's designed to be. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready to go. I'm about a minute over. I just want to say I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, award-winning author, educator. More importantly, I'm a man of God who understands that I am placed here for a reason, more than a season, hopefully for a lifetime for some. All right, so I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful day. Was it Sparkle Easy? Let's go. Sparkle Easy.